We are playing Samurai Aces. I'm gonna let this play for a little bit because I forgot how good the song was. Yeah, we are playing the collection today. Actually, let me get the there you go. Let me fix the lighting if I can. One second. That's good. That's pretty good. What's up, Browsing? You liked the video? Oh, thank you. Now, how did you like the pacing of the video? Because for me personally, I really do like the stuff. How do I say this? It still has all the similar info I would mention, but it's way more condensed and focused. Yeah, personally, I like the packaging way more. Like, the only thing that I changed was, like, not having, like, the guide part. Like, the bosses and enemies and things like that. And usually that section will take up most of the video. That's why I wanted to change things up because of that. It just took way too much, out of the experience, I think, after a while. But all the same info was there, and I feel like I was able to give a more clearer idea of what type of game it is too at the same time for doing this. But yeah, so that's what I'm going for now. I was gonna hold off for a week to put it out, but I feel like I'm in the sort of situation where I got to really prove or like have some assurance or reassure like what I'm doing with the channel. Oh no. No. I thought the boss was dead. No problem. Definitely prefer the condensed content. Yeah. Again, the original style had its place. I think it was definitely needed for games like God Hand and Ninja Gaiden, but not everything needs that in-depth treatment. I think everything's pretty covered at this point. Mind frame? Yeah. Yeah, I was originally going to play, well, make the Overwatch video next, but I have a feeling that'll take quite a bit of time. Because with the Otogi video, it actually was quite the hassle to like, put these puzzle pieces together. Hold on. There we go. Barely killed him. Yeah, I had like a bunch of different notes and I had to find a way to make it make sense, like chronologically, like how the video progressed. I think it came up pretty not bad. But yeah, Overwatch is an even larger can of worms I go to like untangle. So instead of doing that immediately afterwards, we're gonna do this one. So it'll be easier for me to like make this video. No. Yeah, we're doing this next, and then Overwatch. What's up, Naughty? Welcome. It's got a lot of the stuff that is cool to hear in videos like that. For example, versus other games, Joe-Cam. Yeah, things like that, you know, because I wouldn't have been able to mention that stuff before, you know. So yeah, that's the sort of freedom I was talking about, like, yeah. And I explained a bit of the movement too. It's not super complicated, but I was able to to show, well, to explain the inputs for it and then examples of its application, right? And I would have been able to do that before. Because now we're getting to a point, well, this has always been the case, but the games are more than just combat. So I couldn't touch upon, like, you know, other topics or part of the games that interest me. But now I can, pretty much. Come on. What's up, Hammer Bro? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, we had like a little voice chat yesterday. It was a lot better. Oh crap, a lot better than PlayStation. That's for sure. It was a lot longer of a show, and the variety was something I actually liked in this one. I can't think of any stinkers in the Summer Games Fest, I gotta be honest. Like, I actually got, whatchamacallit, rug pulled when the TMNT announcement, the Last Ronin. So I saw, you know, the city, the moon, a red moon specifically, and then Platinum, right? So I kind of figured, is this going to be the rumored Castlevania game by Platinum? But hey, I'm so glad The Last Ronin is getting its game adaptation. So I'm assuming the original got shifted hands, like between devs. So as always, man, Platinum's the gun for hire. That's why I don't really care for her. Her bomb isn't an immediate iframe. It's more of a shield that takes time to activate, like a barrier in front of you. So it's not something you can just use on reaction. Oh no. Yeah, I would go straight to Flesh, but I'm just gonna try a few different characters. So we're gonna have a decent stream. Not super long, I don't think, but might as well show all the characters off before we just stick on Flesh for the entire time. It was actually really hard for me not to go straight to Guange for this video, honestly. I think that's the next shmup I would cover in a video. But for now, I do want to start with Psycho first. No! Still not dead. And that's another cool thing about Flesh. His bomb, immediate iframes, a lot of damage, it lingers. Yeah. Like, I still have the original, like, first impression stream from, like, Twitch, like, 3 years ago. And I was going through every character, and I was learning along the way, like, what do I prefer from, like, speed, bomb types, you know, shop type, bullet types, you know, whether tracks or have a spread or focus, things like that. So that was, like, my real first shmup I really got into. I kind of learned a lot of the basics playing that game. Well, this game. Yeah, and naturally I just landed on Flesh, not even knowing that he was the best character in the game. There's a specific timing you can do. No. Game over. Last one. You're good at bullet hell games too? I'm okay. This game, the reason why I like Samurai Aces and Gunbird 1 is because they're, in my opinion, doable, I gotta say. The patterns aren't crazy. There's no like, pixel perfect dodging. I think it's a very fair game. The earlier Saikyo stuff. They do get crazy as time goes on. So those games aren't really my favorite, but style-wise, I still really like Saikyo stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do one for Samurai Aces, Gunbird 1, and Tengai. I do want to learn Gunbird 2, but that one's still giving me a lot of issues. What's another game that showed up in the Summer Games Fest? It's kind of hard to think right about now, but barely got him. I just remember that they started off with Code Veronica. Usually, you know, I do prefer playing the original games, but that one gave me the hardest time, I gotta be honest. So I am kind of curious to play the remake for Veronica, because at least it's something I could play. That's for sure. The thing is, though, I do hope it's more closer to RE2 remake in the sense of controls. Because I feel like they perfected the formula with these first remake they did. Well, this new era of remakes. We'll see. A way to make it soft. Yeah, I describe it as Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but a lot larger. A lot larger. It looks pretty cool. It's like a really cool game. Oh, okay. Speaking of sequels, or like a follow-up game, Stellar Blade Blood Rain. I'm pretty hyped about that game, like visually, especially with the whole like up close and personal, you know, fisticuffs sort of playstyle. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, now I'm more like, what's the word? Like the feeling I gotta play the first game now, and I just might, but we'll see. No. I hate when that happens though. When you die with a stockpile of bombs. I remember liking this character though. I like the spread shot. His bomb actually has iframes. Okay. And his charge shot is like a bullet barrier thing. It's pretty cool. But it's more defensive rather than like damage, which Flush has in spades, so. I remember liking this character, and I think the old guy too. Fighting Gamera. As an action game, I assume the action RPG angle might be a reattempt at that franchise. Let's see. Man, yeah, because they're going to get their second attempt at it, right? Because it's been probably 13, 14 years since Platinum did the Manhattan game, so yeah. I feel like it's an issue or like a problem of like circumstance. I think they were tasked to make a multiplayer game that will really put like a damp on what they could have done with that game. Because yeah, the grindiness, the health, bloating, yeah, the balancing was all over the place. Stylistically and controls wise, it's pretty fun, but yeah, I just don't care for the balancing in that game. I'm definitely not gonna make it, yeah. Woo. And they said God of War 18 was the main inspiration, then Studio F suffered layoffs, causing developers shift to plan. Oh, okay. That's unfortunate to hear about the studio. But I definitely don't think we needed another over-the-shoulder action game, I gotta be honest. So I'm glad we're getting, hopefully, something more like something more platinum. And honestly, with them making NG4, imagine if this new TMNT is just pseudo Ninja Gaiden at this point, right? Like it's a mix of everything they've done, which will include NG4 at this point, maybe. So I'll definitely not be complaining about that. I think we definitely need more NG clones, that's for sure. There's going to be an animated film out. Oh, I think I remember hearing about that too. Yeah, that sucks. Wait, I'm definitely going to have to start reading that like soon. So I do have the hardback issue for it, like with all of them combined. I just need to actually sit down and put in the time. I think I'm gonna start doing that this week, honestly. I could wait until it's closer to release, but you just never know these days. One more year, one more Resident Evil, one less DMC. Give it time and we'll get the near confirmed like DMC 1 remake. Because eventually they're going to remake everything from Resident Evil, so yeah. So I don't know, man. Because yeah, once they're done with Resident Evil, they got to move to another franchise. And if it's anything to go by, the popularity, what was it? The poll, like from last year, Dino Crisis being up there as one of the highest rated series by the fans. Yeah, I think they're gonna start revisiting DMC, Dino, things like that. So give it time, give it time. The last Ninja Gaiden I played? Oh, we did a stream of the NG04 demo the other day on the OG Xbox. That was pretty cool. And before that, we did a full playthrough of NG1, 2, and 3 on actual hardware on the NES. Like a little marathon, I guess. But yeah. Gamera's back. I think there's even a Gamera shmup. OBS is still messing up. I think it was named Oh yeah, Crossfire. Yeah, it reminded me of that's the one with the stealth mechanics, right? Where you actually have to control like how you shift your body and like use cover and elevation to your advantage. Yeah, that looks like a really like in-depth cover shooter. You know, it's not like yeah, just go waist high stuff and just pop shot. It actually seems like it's more involved. I'm actually looking forward to that. Whoa. Tips for someone getting Bullet Hells? For Bullet Hells specifically, I'm not too sure. I hardly play those. Maybe eventually, uh, but when it comes to like shooters in general, like shmups, I just say play what interests you. Honestly, if it looks cool, uh, start with that one, because that's how I started. Like with Psycho, I really like their visual style and their bullet patterns being way more like simple and readable. So I stuck with these games, like as I got started. And yeah, if you like it visually and like the mechanics, that's all you need to like really, stick with it. Um, yeah, it's all about finding the game that interests you and go from there. It's no different than like how she gets started in fighting games. It's the same sort of thing. Pick a game that looks cool to you, find a character that has a cool like game plan, and there you go. That's how you start. Or are they going to at least try and be faithful? I don't think they'll be faithful, Rozzy. To DMC1? No. That's not going to happen. This guy, I remember being a powerhouse, but very slow. Yeah. And in this game, if you notice, the power-ups seem to avoid you. Like, you will approach it, and they go away. These P pickups. So in the heat of battle, you want someone that's fast enough to, pick it up and back away. And also, like, catch it if they do try to avoid you. So, yeah. I liked this guy for a bit when it was easier. Like, more doable for me. But once things started to heat up, yeah. His lack of speed got me killed more often than not. And again, that's how I landed on Flush naturally, because he has the right amount of speed as well. That was a pretty good charge shot. Yeah, he hits a lot harder. Ninja Commando. I think I remember seeing that on the arcade archives. Yeah, I'll definitely have it on the list though to check it out. I think it's called Ninja Imaki. Like there's a few of those like top-down, like run and gun sort of games, like ninja themed ones. I think there's also one called Bond's Adventure, like an arcade game that seems like a boss rush game. So I gotta check that out too at some point. Yeah, I remember checking those out, Rozzy. Yeah, the console archives. Yeah, I'm just hoping. Well, I'm hoping and waiting for the first game to be put on there. I hope there's not some like licensing issue where only Nintendo can have it for some reason, like with their subscription service thing. But yeah, once all three are on there, or if all three, we'll do a full like marathon again, playing all of them. There's no platinum trophies for those games, unfortunately. It seems like you get all of the trophies or achievements just by playing the game. So at least I can see the 100% bar on them. But I wish there was a little more going on there. Look how hard that is to get that power up. I had to go all the way to the top of the screen. Yeah, he's just a little too slow on the on chasing things pretty much. Whoa, he was a little super short or close to the bottom. my go-to pick up and play. If we're talking about NES, I might have to choose the first game, and the same is true for 3D. I'll pick up NG1 most of the time, honestly. If I got to go back and replay them, yeah, the first game's all the way. No, I didn't kill her quick enough. And the cool thing about this game too, well, about Saikyo in general, these games are only like 15 minutes for the first loop. Super short. God, the bomb went off. Super short, pick up and play. No, they don't outstay their welcome. Very tightly paced. Yeah, they're just good games. And there's no like training options on this collection, so you can't really, you know, stage select and things like that. But with it being so short, I think it's fine. It's super doable. Look at that, I can't even pick up power up. But another cool thing is though, like that made that process fun, like restarting every time from the beginning, was the random stage order. That's a staple in all of Saikyo games, and I think even Video System, like the prior like version of themselves. Yeah, the random stage order makes it interesting every single time you attempt a new run. So it's not always the same. Like you can sort of anticipate the same spawns every time if it's like the first, second, or third order. But that combined with the ranking system, the game's pretty adaptive. Like it's always different for the most part. Like there's just enough randomness where I still need to like pay attention a good amount of the time. I can rely on my past experience, but yeah, the game gives enough randomness to keep me on my toes, which I like. No. Yeah, if you let one of those power-ups or pickups linger too long, they just fly off screen. They bounce off the wall a few times, but yeah, wait too long and they just fly off. And again, with this guy's slower movement speed, yeah, it makes it tough to snag these. Look how risky that is. I have to go all the way to the top. Yeah, with most characters, you don't have to like go in that deep to do that. So. No. Her box in that game was small compared to other bullet hell games I've seen. The Bolix Pit had a bit of bullet hell elements. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I ever heard about that one. 2017 was a year for weak gun sound effects in games. I actually don't remember any like FPS at that time. I gotta be honest. Like I know Overwatch was 2016, and I'm assuming Rainbow Six was around that same time. So I remember playing both in the rotation, like multiplayer FPS. But yeah, I don't remember what was in 2017. It Wanted Dead without much effort. Oh, I forgot about that. The little mini games in Wanted Dead. Start another day. Oh, nice. How difficult was that actually? Doing the Japanese, oh my, this guy moves. Speaking of, this is a massive difference in movement speed. Look at this. He feels like he's just gliding in comparison. Yeah, way more responsive. Now, I don't think I Let's see. Okay, it's like a tracking shot. I gotta see why I didn't care for this guy. That's the second time Discord did that. It's possible to download a previous patch. Oh, okay. I remember hearing about that too. That they did a pretty, like, you know, what would you call it? A pretty big rebalance of that game. I'm not exactly sure what they did. I remember reading like the dev like notes on it. But I remember they actually made headshots actually work. Like they actually, you know, made impact. Yeah, I remember something about making the gunplay more like satisfying. But that's all I remember, like from the article they had. I'm not sure if they changed like enemy spawns or values of some kind, but this guy always does the same movement, by the way. You can anticipate like where he goes every time. I don't have any power up shot, so I might, yeah. Oh my god. I did not expect the... And when you die too, it also lowers the rank by a noticeable amount. Battle Garega, the 2016 PS4 port, is the best way to play it. It's visible. Oh, nice. I've been sort of collecting some PS4 like shmup ports slowly. Like I got the PS4 collection. I got the Aleste collection. I was looking at Esperade, but because you know it's not on the US storefront, so either make an account or get it physically. In both versions, like both ways, it's yeah. So, I don't know. I want to get Esperade, but all that for one game, I'm not too sure. We'll see though. But what's the news of the Muchi Muchi Pork and Pink Sweets re-release? That I'm interested in. We'll see if the port is as good, because you know what happened with the Raiden Fighters collection like a few months ago, not being as good as the Aces one on 360. So I'm excited for it, but I just gotta wait. Yeah. Yeah, I've been slowly building up my SMUP collection for the new direction of the channel. Like I'm including these not more often, but like sometimes, like in between. Yeah, that's why I got Death Smiles, Fighters Aces collection, LS Day, this. So it's been a slow build. Now we can actually put these to use for a video at some point. No. Are you aware of the chart shot? No, she haven't. Yeah, I know about the chart shot, but when it comes to these characters versions of it, I'm not too sure how to use it. Like with Flush, I know there's like specific times I go for it. Like mainly the boss rush near the end with the all the mech ninjas. Yeah, there's like very specific moments where I go for it. Otherwise, I just hold auto fire. Yeah, that's a really cool mechanic, the charge shot. Like that's something I actually really learned to like about Psycho with this game as well. The process of instant killing bosses. Like with Flush, with the charge shot combined with his insanely powerful bomb, You can delete phases instantly. And that only continues with like Gunbird 1 and Tengai. It's specifically Tengai with Katana. Like that character's nothing but the charge shot. Alright, fine, played everyone. Now we can play the best character in the game. That's why I want to play Dragon Blaze 2 at some point. Like I played it here and there, but very casually, very casually. But the instant kill mechanic is more developed. It's not as easy to get like in the earlier titles. That one you actually have to like charge your shot, because you gotta like throw your dragon into these weak points. So you have to not be firing. It's all about dodging for dodging in a tense pattern. Throw the dragon for the instant kill. So it's a bit more harder to do in Dragon Blaze, it seems like the tech shots, I think it's called. Yeah, everything I like about shmups started with Samurai Aces and Saikyo in general. Short runtime, instant kill, boss strats, the art style. PS5 controller. Yeah, I'm using PS5 controller. Increases rank, so you shouldn't pick them up when you're at full power. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, to be honest. I just do it to like maintain my top damaging shot, but like I've picked up some like D-ranking strats in like Tengai, because that game gets crazy near the end. But for this game, I never done like specific like let me take contact damage to D-rank my shot and like lower the rank. This game I haven't learned anything about that, but I probably should. But it's still manageable though, in my experience. And even before I knew about like Zayram, this design is pretty much like his work, honestly. Oh, that was a panic bomb there. Nice. Usually I use one bomb on that fight, so. Prior to, yeah, it's a lead up. It's the best time to use it. Drop it once they spawn, but yeah, you can memo more efficient spots. Should be in good hands. It's by the same team that did the ports for Kai Katana and Death Mouse 1 and 2. Oh, okay. The only name I've heard when it comes to like shmup ports is M2, I think. Is it them, or am I confusing it with like another popular like port team? No, I gotta remember to just stay in the middle. That's another cool thing about these games, like the Saikyo games. They have their like this rival team sort of situation. That you don't get that impression with this game. But with Gunbird 1, especially like they're more of the forefront. Like the rivals become more of a character, like as their own team and stuff like that. But all throughout the game, you're slowly, you know, fighting these rivals as the game goes on, which is pretty cool. And easily my favorite designs are in Tenga. For no apparent reason. Both games which is flawed. The only issue being that there's porting over 360 double pack. which is flawed in its own right and hoping they... Oh, okay, so the 360 port had its own issues. So you're wondering if those will be... Okay, I see what you mean. If they're going to be carried over as well. Okay. Input lag, and they don't have the same amount of slowdowns. Oh, okay. So it's not like accurate. I see. Survival strats is generally recommended to avoid picking up. Yeah, I'm definitely a survival player. I'm far from a score type of runner. That's definitely for sure. Like, I'm just gonna scrape my way through a playthrough. Oh, barely avoided that bullet. This is probably one of my favorite formations in the game. It's not too complicated. I just like how they alternate from in and out as they fire and reload. I just like that. Yeah, even though like I mentioned earlier, even though these stages are random order, I think the first 3 only. The strats you can come up with... Oh crap, I should charge. They give a good foundation on how to approach the levels. This is actually really bad. Quick. I shouldn't have used so many bombs there, but... The full game. That boss in the river gets destroyed by flesh. Yeah, a lot of the game gets destroyed by flesh, honestly. But they are not working on Moochie Moochie Park. Oh, okay, it's a different team. And they're doing... This is their logo, right? City Connection right here. So I like this port of Psycho stuff, so I'm assuming I'll like their new work as well. This publishing? Oh, okay. Who did the Switch ports of Mushima-sama? DDP Daifukatsu? I think the acronym looks familiar to me. I think to most people who aren't aware of the genre, they might have just thought you slammed your hand against the keyboard. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Always shoot in the corner. Respawn there first. For these ninjas, you just want to move forward. It's like a sweet spot right there. This spot always scares the hell out of me. I can never be too sure how fast they shoot. You can get a good idea how your rank is right about now. Because yeah. The rank also determines how fast enemies shoot at you. Like the bullet speed is crazy fast. And yeah. I think I have old clips showing that off, but yeah, I killed that guy a little too slow. No. Damn. Yeah, this is like the best showcase when done right. How powerful the charge shot is, and like the power of instant killing bosses in this game. No! No! The trade. Take off all the devs, it seems. Okay, nice. We are getting closer to the end, actually, of this game. It gets messy very quick. My God. Yeah, that's a safe spot right there. Just be in the middle and you're good. This part kills me, and so does like the next mini boss coming up. No. Please. No. Oh my God. Nice. You could line yourself up with the power-up shot, because at a certain point, the game takes control and you fly like directly forward. So if you don't think you will pick up the power-up in time, try your best to line up, like anticipate the direction of the power-up. So when you move forward, you can still pick it up and get the points and the power-up at the same time. That guy is so scary. Oh, oh no! Wait. Dying with a bomb in hand is so bad. Especially as Flush, man. Like, his bombs are so powerful. Hold on. Reload. Low. Ah, yeah, I'm dying here for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna die, get my bombs back, but... if you die, you don't start here. You start at the very beginning of the stage. Yeah. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Because that's the final boss too, right there. His first form, but we're like literally at the end of the game. Oh my God. I'm so scared. Hold on. I panicked. I was totally fine too. How many bombs do I have? Yeah. I gotta do this so clean. Oh, I've not fought this boss. That's it. That's the game. The final boss is random. Usually I don't fight the Tanuki. I fight like a red demon guy most of the time. Light gun shooters, been playing Virtual Cop 2 at the... It's addicting. I want to, man. I want to. Like, I still, like, currently I'm playing on a CRT, so I could do it, like, with like a PS2 and like playing ports. I just need like working hardware of like the controller and stuff, I'm assuming. This is loop 2. Yeah, we definitely won't last long here, but yeah. I think there's... I know there's a ninja based light gun game. I forgot what it's called though. It's Ninja something. But yeah, it's another genre I want to get into eventually. There we go. Wait, that's the game. Yeah, any other character, I have a massive hurdle. But yeah, Flush is like the way to go with this game for a lot of good reasons. Is getting a remaster? Like officially? Like an official remaster? That's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, speaking of Godzilla, that Sonic racing game is looking more and more appealing as time goes on. I gotta be honest. It looks pretty sick. I haven't seen like mechanics wise or like stage, like how the tracks are, if they're good or not. But the amount of like content seems pretty cool. I'm not too sure if those updates are free though. That's the only thing I need to learn. About, but no. I got Nancy there. For PS2, that's not expensive. Okay. I think you showed me before. You might have to let me know the brand name again. I can check that out. Yeah, to stay in the middle. I like how the eyes follow you on this thing. Yeah, there's a good reason this is one of my favorite shmups. Very approachable. The patterns are readable. The speed only gets crazy on loop 2. Or if you like really build your rank crazy high. But yeah, I think it's super doable. Like I've done some practice and like routing stuff, like learning some safe spot tricks, like at the near the end of the final stage, like when you just stand in the middle. But that's as complicated as it gets. There's not like specific routing that I'm doing. You know, once you have a game plan, you can follow it for 85% of the run. Again, there's some like wiggle room. You have to like lean on your own skill, depending on the rank and the stage order. But it's a very like fair game, I think. That's why I want to start with this one. The same reason why I started with Castlevania 1. Like I want to show games that got me into, you know, a certain genre or a subgenre. Otogi was just like a way to show the new styling of the videos when it comes to 3D stuff. But yeah, for the focus of like Castlevania and this one, I want to show like why it's pretty easy to approach, like what makes it so fun, especially as a beginner practice game, and how it makes attempting runs interesting. There's random order and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty cool game. Yeah, like I mentioned before, he follows the same pathing every time. And that's the case no matter what stage order. We might swap to a different game on the collection just to switch it up a bit more. Oh, that's Unfortunate. And that's a... I won't bring this up until a Gunbird 1 video, but the general principle you want to follow for these games, well, the ones I like anyways, like earlier Psycho stuff, it's either being right in front of the enemy or like be directly in front of them, like line up your shots, and just micro space to the left or to the right, and that's pretty much all I gotta do. Left, left, right, left, right. That's all I gotta do for the most part. Like perfect example right here. Like all those patterns, left, right, left, right, left, right. That's the... what's the word? The theme? Like the design principle, I guess, of this game. But it's more obvious in Gunbird 1. And again, once I realized that, it made it way more approachable and like doable. I can't get the same sort of read on like bullet hells. I'm not sure if you would call this a bullet hell. I don't think it's as crazy, but it's readable. So I can pick up on patterns and like tropes the game is going for. But yeah, like that's what I'm excited to talk about Gunbird 1 eventually. To like noticing the common thread and all the patterns in that game. And once you realize it, yeah, it's a pretty easy game. Armed with wings. Let me write that down. Armed with wings. I'll check that out. Ninja Assault, yeah, that's it. Vampire Knight, it's a joint project between Sega and Namco. Oh, that sounds like a match made in heaven. Vampire Knight? I think I've heard about that one. Who's this guy again? Yeah, I'm gonna have to play that then. There's even, like, speaking of vampires and, like, rail shooters, I know there's one for Castlevania, oddly enough. And I think the original, like, arcade hardware had a whip, like a handle of one. So they went all that with the theming and, like, the controls of that game. Yeah, the chances are if I ever play it, it'll be emulation for obvious reasons, but yeah, I gotta check that out eventually too. Watch out for these ships on the right, like these little pods, because sometimes they can shoot sideways. So that's why I always like move upwards at that point, at that spot. That charge time is super long. Oh, the trade. The double KO. Like, oh, nice. Appreciate it. 2D slasher, mainly a remake of an old Flash game. Expand a full 4-episode series. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard about that before. That's pretty sick. Like, how'd you learn about that game? So I feel like I'm usually on the pulse of like the 2D stuff, but that's pretty sick. Oh, speaking of like 2D games, I'm pretty hyped for the Cuphead announcement. I need to go back and watch the trailer. So I'm not sure if it's more Contra or Mega Man. Either way though, I'm pretty hyped. Especially since I guess a full-on sequel is in the works. So, yeah, there's more Cuphead. And again, those 2 shots they did, the boss, was all just left, right, left, right. Yeah, that's usually all the patterns are. Either stay in the middle or sidestep. I played the original game back then. Oh, so you're an original fan. Okay, nice. I wasn't aware it had a more... Oh, okay. And that's how you learned about the episodic part of the game, right? Again, another example of just staying in the middle or sidestep. Yeah, I'm telling you, this game is way more approachable than you might think. Because I picked this game first because of like visual style and the patterns, like just the clarity of them. Yeah, it didn't take too long to realize how they form these patterns. I'm surprised there's no contact damage though. It's even coded in assembly using real master system. Oh, really? Okay, I'm liking this game more and more, honestly. I don't think they set a date on it though, which sucks. Because everything... Oh, that was close. Because everything we've been seeing, like announcements-wise, all 2026 or 2027. So like nothing's really like crazy, you know, announced early kind of, you know, situation. So fingers crossed, man. Hopefully it's like within a year and a half. And we're getting carts for it. What? So, okay, I remember in the announcement they said it was a side project within the team. So yeah, it seemed like it's some sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say tech demo. It's like a... I know there's like some sort of word for like this kind of project of like making games for older systems. But yeah, I guess a passion project, but I feel like there's something better, like in terms of like gaming. But yeah, that sounds pretty sick. Again, that reminds me, the fact that Celeste 3 is playable on actual Game Gear hardware, that's crazy to me. I would have never imagined somebody, especially officially, making a new game for that hardware, which is pretty sick. I think I've seen a bit of gameplay for even... No! That little like slight movement backwards got me. Whoa, how did I not get hit there? Yeah, I was refusing to use my bomb there. Oh yeah, I saw a bit of gameplay for Celeste 3 on the mini consoles they released too. Dude, what a technical marvel. That's crazy to me. That's crazy that that's possible. With a massive combat overhaul from the final game. Rearmed. Okay, let me make sure I write it down as well. Rearmed. Okay. What's up, Bruce? It's worth noting, or it's still being produced. In 2026? It's still active? Like officially by Sega? There's no way, right? There's no way. Because even like, that's like saying the NES is still in production. You know, like that's some classic hardware Yeah, that's insane if that's true. Like, I know Sega is bigger over there, but so big where Sega's willing to maintain the production of that. Yeah, because Nintendo's big too, but they're not making NES still, you know? I guess since it's a more cheaper to keep making those, I guess, but I've always liked this character's shots. Because you see the shuriken, or like the kunai, and the charge shots of shuriken. Like visually, that's just so cool. Like there's a character in Aero Fighters, I think, by Video System, which is the same devs. Yeah, there's a character named Zero with the same sort of thing. Cool name, cool shot looks, cool looking shots. But yeah, let's put more time into those eventually. Everything except Chapter 10 works. What's the problem with Chapter 10? Like, I'm assuming that just means Stage 10 in that game. I never played it myself, so I'm not too sure how that game works. Other than being the multiplayer stuff, right? And look how short these stages are. We're already at the lead up at the boss, so I think this one's pretty short, like the shortest compared to everything else, but yeah, everything's just so tightly paced in this game. No. Oh, you can move with the bomb too. I think you get iframes, but I think I didn't care for her because of the short range of the bomb. I think that's the only problem I had. Armed with wings rearmed. Armed with wings rearmed. Armed with wings rearmed. Armed with wings rearmed. So, we did alright. We did alright. Armed with wings rearmed. Surprisingly. I feel like I get tongue twisted pretty easily, honestly. Just reading my scripts when I'm recording, I'm already slipping up. That's a basic words. Fantasy Zone Collection, where we remade the Master System exclusive Fantasy Zone 2. And that's pretty impressive, honestly. Tech Toys still produces Master System. Oh, okay, so it's a different company, but they're still making them. Like licensed product, that's pretty cool. Okay, so do you know how the secondhand market is for Master System games over there? Because like, well, unless you know piracy is easier, right? I think I heard stuff about that. So maybe like the hardware is easy to get, but I guess real cartridges are out of the question. So might as well just probably just pirate stuff. I haven't played much Master System, honestly. Like besides the Ninja Gaiden game. But yeah, you can tell like these shots are actually pretty slow. The cool thing is too about the stage order. You see how these guys are shooting one bullet, right? If you get here later, they do a try shot. The strategy to avoid them is still the same, just sidestep. Like they'll shoot at you directly. So all you want to do is just sort of like, what's the word? Imagine where the shot's gonna be, like the diagonal ones. Yeah, as long as you sidestep the direct shots they do, you're fine. And even that guy, when I mentioned the whole like sidestep, like meta of this game, he starts off doing a empty shot in the middle, a direct shot, and then open shot. So yeah, I'm telling you, the structure of these games are pretty easy to read. I want to save that topic until Gunbird 1. So I think this video is going to talk about more about like the random stage order, I guess a bit of the ranking system, not super in depth, but just explain like how this game keeps itself fresh over multiple playthroughs. I think that's what I'm trying to mention. And then yeah, Gunbird 1 as well, talk about more pattern stuff. Okay, after this, I think we'll swap to Gunbird 1. Switch it up a bit. Especially since we've been talking about it quite a bit. Okay. Is it next Castlevania? It just won't show up in the selection screen despite being solid. At the Onimusha demo? Oh, tell me about it, man. It was cool, but the what? This was the play. The demo they showed off. Oh, so it hasn't changed at all. Yeesh. And description fits their play. Yeah, that sucks, man. Yeah, with my stream, yeah, I didn't really. I think it's fine, but more videos on YouTube popped up saying like, yeah, this is easy. You know, it is an easy demo. So we'll see, man. We'll see if they're playing it like super safe or something. I'm sure now with the more like eyes on it, maybe they hear the criticism of it being too easy and they up it at a base level, but we'll see. Yeah, it was fine. Dislikes content and enthusiasm. If you're going to sell your game, this is not the way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. Okay. I remember saying in the demo, well, in the stream playing the demo, if it's too safe, you're not gonna have like the dedicated fans that really like what you're going for. It doesn't have like the strong impression, pretty much. So, yeah, it might be a little too safe of a game. I never played this game too much. But yeah, Psycho did some different games, that's for sure. I think they even have a table tennis game. I think. I'm not too sure, but yeah. The timer is pretty tight though. I think that's why I kept failing in this game. Like, I wouldn't know how to skillfully aim the ball. The one where, oh yeah, Dragon Sword? Yeah, that game's awesome, man. I still have the katana. The stylus katana. Oh, I can just show it here, actually. Oh, my camera broke. Or froze. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I still have the stylus. Dude. That's why I want to play on real hardware and like sort of stream it that way, but yeah. Trying to find like modded DS's nowadays is only getting harder. I actually made a thumbnail in my older style for that game, like a long time ago. I don't have many like, what's the word? Unused thumbnails. I have a handful. I have one for like Stellar Blade, Piano 3, Dragon Sword, the beat 'em up. I think DMC Reboot. So yeah, I have a few unseen thumbnails, but yeah. The camera keeps breaking. This is what happens. This is why I thought my camera was broken this whole time. It stops working. I think when it gets overheated, it freezes up all the time. There we go. Yeah, I'm about to take it off then. You know what? Speaking of, you know what? I did a Ninja Gaiden Vita playthrough, not playthrough, but a stream a few months ago. But now that I have the hand cam, I might do that. I might do a full playthrough of the Vita Sigma 1 on stream. Because I can display it on here, like on the full screen, but also have the Vita in view as well. So we have two views. This is the only problem though. The camera like shuts off. So it's a what's the word? It's not guaranteed, but it's something I want to do eventually, because again, I'm not going to stop playing NG1 anytime soon. So any way to like mix up the streams sounds pretty cool, but I just noticed the rabbit is telling me where the ball is going to land. Oh. Do I have a bomb? There's no bomb. I don't think. Yeah. No. No. And yeah, this is what happens most times. I die to the timer instead of missing the ball. It was like 2 shots away too. I'm sure there's some like skill to it to like have a more direct trajectory or like an angled one, but I'll figure it out. In Genesis consoles locally and sell them under their branding. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool to know though, like the classic hardware is kept alive somehow. I wonder how expensive that is, like to manufacture and to buy. Like over there. But you probably get used to the magic weapon. Wait, let me see. Oh, the Onimusha demo, yeah. Rolling Armadillo, yeah. You can only use the magic weapon like once, and that's pretty much it. It's just a bad first impression, man. It's just too... Nothing's happening. They introduced the stuff with like no stakes, like no pushback. Yeah. It's tough, man. Not the game, but the situation it's in. But I'm going to play it because I committed to playing the trilogy. Even Dawn of Dreams, so yeah. I'm gonna play it just for completion's sake. So we'll see how that goes. I do like how strict the timer is though. Like it really puts like the fire underneath you. Like be efficient, but it's a little too tight for me right now. No. And this is super early in the game too. I can only imagine how crazy. I'm not sure if there's like some secret magnetism going on, but I swear they make it easier after I die. Mahjong game between Capcom? What? Like, I know they did Cannon Spike. Like, I want to play that too at some point. Like, badly, I want to play that game. I think it's a Dreamcast game, and I never really attempted to like figure out the emulation on that, but it's on the list. Okay, the camera keeps messing up. Well, if it freezes up one more time, which it will, I'll just turn it off for the rest of the stream. No. Capcom and Psycho All-Stars released only on Dreamcast in Japan. Oh, okay. Game over. We'll try the other character, and then we'll go back to Gunbird 1. Short 20 minutes, you have to play multiple times to properly understand it. I don't think they put you in... It froze already. We're just turn it off for now. They show you in the situation a little... How do I say this? Where they show you the mechanics is too safe. It's too safe. We don't have a chance to like use it on our own, you know. And I feel like we could have with that group fight, but I swear they toned down the AI specifically in that room. Like, I didn't have to like do anything in that group fight. Like even in the stream, I kind of figured like this was the actual test, put everything together, but that really wasn't the case. But yeah, hopefully in this second stage in the main game, we'll see what happens next. But as right now, it's it looks like a too safe of a game so far. Use a Tron tablet. That would be cool to see too, though. Honestly, for Dragon Sword. A series, but since it was an official ROM, my DS didn't handle this game very well. Oh, okay. That's a pretty cool way to get into the series, honestly. I think that's still like the most unknown game. I think nowadays it's getting there, like its existence being known, but I think it's still pretty niche. That and the Master System game, or any of the Sega Ninja Gaiden games, honestly. What the hell? I don't think they have different abilities, because both of them are showing me where the ball lands or is going to land. So I can't really say like if there's any difference between the characters. There must be, but Sigma Plus, yeah. Upgrades. If this game came out 6 months after the game was announced, I would say a little bit, but yeah. They should have. I never played the Stellar Blade demo, but I think in the Lost Soul Aside demo and FF16, they give you a boss fight, and they also give you a good amount of like upgrades to mess with too. So you get a more of a good idea of what the game is capable of, like at least mechanically, like when you fully kitted out. But yeah, that's a double-edged sword, right? It is cool our save carries over to the main game, but yeah. In this instance, I wish they had like a more modified demo. to really show off the game potential, to show the game's potential more. But yeah, it doesn't look too enticing, let's say. In the game. Yeah, I have to let you know that, Nodding. I remember, like I've set up Flight K2, and surprisingly, it's on there. Cannon Spike. I kind of figured it was only console, well, arcade games on there. I didn't expect, console stuff. So I was able to get Flight K2 to work, but I'm not sure how my computer will handle a Dreamcast game, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're definitely gonna make a review out of it, because yeah, I gotta play more Psycho stuff. I was kind of scared of these turrets right here, but yeah, now the rival team gets more like screen time. You see them personally, get little like stills, more animated, more dialogue. Pretty cool. Like most of the games have like charm factor to them, which I like. Okay, everything back to, there we go. Womp womp. Made by the same devs as Gunbarrack. Okay. I know X is in the game. Wait, okay, is it X or Mega Man Legends Mega Man? That would make more sense, like thematically, with the whole shooting stuff. But yeah, I know it's like a sort of cross-reference game. Cause I know there's Cammy's in there. I think even Arthur's in there. I don't remember who else, but it seems like a really cool game. Platinum games. I'm good. They make mostly crap. No, you gotta play. You gotta play. Bayonetta Origins. It's one of the most Clover games I've ever played, not made by Clover. That game's good by Platinum. NG4, like, what's the word? It's good. It's a good game. I know as what people consider 3D Ninja Gaiden is iffy, but it's a good game. It works. As most. How do I phrase this? Sadly, that's the bare minimum many games nowadays can't do, let's say. And it's more, it leaves a better first impression in the action game sense more than Onimusha Way of the Sword, right? So even like the age of like modern action games, it has more, what's the word? Grit to it. It's actually something you have to put effort to play. But it's close. Platinum is sort of the treasure of our time. Yeah, I've always felt the same way too about them. I don't think they're as experimental as Treasure. That's the thing. They do the mix-up gameplay a lot of the times, which I like. But they're not as experimental, I think. But they are the closest thing we do have to modern day Treasure, though. Nowadays, I feel like they're more guns for hire, which I don't mind. Like, there's not many, like, people you can go for to make a good, at least a solid, combat system. So to see Platinum still be called up for that is pretty damn cool. and playing it made me want to die. That bad? No, it's not that bad, right? Because I lost all, what's the phrase? My optimism was gone by the end of the Neo 3 demo. So is that how it felt like for you? Because yeah, that demo definitely excite me, let's say. I'm actually more excited to play Stellar Blade more now, knowing there's a sequel on the way. So I kind of want to catch up. So I'll see what we can do. After years now, we're talking about. Yeah, I need to go back to Bayo 1. Bayo 1 and Vanquish are the only games I wish I could have done in the older style. But I don't know. Like those are the last two games I would have done before moving on. But if I did end up doing those, it would have been a Ninja Gaiden situation where those videos would have come out in like 3 months. And yeah, that's not good. To do that back to back, these massive videos, yeah. So that's why I decided to like skip them for now. Like I'm gonna cover them obviously, but and I'll still try to give the same info. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we get there. I got so lucky that drone didn't fire at me. Quick. They're not as good. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think they've always been around, at worst times, average and high highs, even back then, probably. Because if you're talking about 2010s, then usually the Activision era comes up. I like their games at that time, but depending who you ask, you know, that's also a great spot. And even afterwards, we had Babylon's Fall, like in 2015, 16. And then Bayonetta 3, depending who you ask. It's tough. They're ambitious. They've always been ambitious, and yeah. It's tough. It's tough to like sort of rank them, but I'm glad they're still around, that's for sure. Real good stuff. Like I think Mad World is pretty gimmicky, as is most Wii games, but it still had like all the, you know, the stuff we'll see going forward. Set the groundwork for them. Yeah, they're definitely not a bad studio. They have some misses, but I think they still have good quality coming out, even with like Kamiya and like other people leaving. Like NG4 was pretty good. Now I'm really excited about Rise of the Ronin, or the TMNT game, Last of the Ronin. So those will give like an indicator of like their quality nowadays, right? With the new people. So yeah. So until we see that game come out, then we can finally judge like the new era of Platinum. But overall though, like the past few games I really enjoyed. I wish I could have played Something of the Demon. It was an Apple Arcade only game, and it got delisted a few years ago. I was hoping they would have like repackaged it and made like a home console version. Like that would have been a perfect like a Switch game, like a Nintendo Switch game. Because there's not many like, not that I know of, like games on there, like more handheld action games, but visually looked really cool, like super interesting. But yeah, but it's a mobile game, so I'm sure it has some like microtransaction, weird balancing stuff, you know. But visually, I wanted to play it. Generally hated playing Stellar Blade. The game has zero room for skill expression, despite having the moveset. The game is so hell-bent on pairing, all these moves are plain useless. Interesting. I hope we can find out sooner rather than later. Yeah, because I want to get to it like sometime very soon, but we'll see. Hates after actually playing it. Yeah, that's a big difference, right? Like, yeah. Like, all games should have that fair criticism. And to do that, you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. To like give a better, like, I guess analysis, like a more, what's the word? A more fair shake, you know? Like, that's why I can't really say too much about the demo. Well, Onimusha as a whole, because of the demo. It's only like a slight look into the game, so I can't really say. But yeah, only when we can fully play the game, I'll say. Kazan? I never played that game either. Didn't the studio unfortunately get closed down? Like, I hear it's a easier Neo game. I'm not sure how true that is, but it seems like a pretty in-depth action RPG. A way more involved one than most, anyways. But looking at the gameplay further into the game tells me I didn't miss much, if anything at all. Damn. But that's what the demo's for, right? So if its job is to get people interested. And if they don't do a good job at making the perfect vertical slice, then, you know, the blame is on you. It's more on the game not setting a better, you know, standard of what's coming up. Again, that's why I was pretty glad we played the NGO4 demo disc for the first game, because that's like the perfect demo, I gotta say. The mechanics weren't all fully fleshed out, but it's a way better idea of what's coming up. No, I think I could have made it too. Like, made it through. No. No. Cho Aniki? What is that actually? I think I've read that before. It sounds familiar. I remember I almost used this guy more often. So I like the speed. I like his shot type. But I don't think I cared for his bomb. I ended up going for Marion in this game. I think she has the best instant kill boss strats. So once I saw that, yeah, I fully committed to learning the game with her. We'll probably play for like 20 or so minutes, like a 2-hour stream. I just want to do a short one today.
一足遅かったようだね。前日の魔境は私たちトランプがいただくよ。いただくぜ。いただきます。
Allowed dodge cancel? Dodge cancel out of block stun. NG4 didn't. I actually don't remember. I feel like I probably tried to test that out, but I believe it though. I never fully tested it, but off he goes. Change of Paradise. Okay. Too good for the damn. Do you think? Okay, was it their first game actually? I never heard if they made more stuff before, and obviously not after. But I don't think I've ever heard of that studio before, like before Kazan. But I'm guessing it was like a. It didn't really land, I guess. Like with the people. Well, with enough people. Did they have a demo? Or no? I feel like a decent amount of like action games nowadays do get them. I'm not sure if Kazan did. No! I should have just bombed. And I had a guy suggest Neo to me. I just said, really? Really, dude? I just said I'm sick of Souls-like and now you're telling me to play another. What is it about the Souls-like you're not too much of a fan of? Like the pace of the combat or the mechanics? Like what is it about them? Or is it so like the more stamina-based pace of encounters a little like your issue? God, I'm getting like mini flashbangs every time I land a shot on this game. That was also true at the Samurai Aces, but jeez. Allegation. It's actually some of the most dangerous things you can do because it locks you into block stun. I don't remember. I honestly never remember having a problem with that. Like my sort of, what did I mention in the NG2 video? The flowchart you always want to do is dash step, Rin run. And that's what I did, even when I block something. Like when I blocked, I immediately start prepping a dash step. Maybe I didn't notice the cancel, but the game is a lot faster where the downtime in between wasn't noticeable to me. Yeah, personally, I don't remember it causing problems, but so I felt like the game was like I was able to keep up, like ahead of the chaos of the game. Copies one like it's wearing a mask and copy something it isn't. Oh, okay. Because it looks another. Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah. And that's something I mentioned too in the Togi video I just put out. Those games back then were way more, had a clear identity between them all. they all play so differently, right? So I get what you mean, like the homogenization and the standardization of the action genre. But I definitely get that. But Neo, if you haven't played it yet, I would recommend it. I would recommend it. So I think it adds enough of its own spin to the formula, where it's its own unique take. That's for sure. No. No. I'm trying not to use my bombs, but wow. No. The small pellet got camouflaged in there. Oh, I pressed bomb too. Oh, he just doesn't have instant iframes. Okay. That's why I don't care for this guy. I like everything else about him, but I gotta have a character with instant bombs. Well, instant iframes on bombs. There's so many of those. I could play one and easily say I played them all. Team Ninja's action RPGs are definitely its own flavor. I would say try them. I would say try them, if possible. Now, once you do start playing them, I would understand if you say the Team Ninja formula is a little too cookie cutter, because I definitely found, you know, their style and slightly changed it with each game. But mechanically, like gameplay wise, yeah, Neo is definitely its own thing. Just with the key pulse alone, like that adds so much. Like just with the pacing of the game, so much tighter, quicker. You can dictate the pace a lot more with that skill check, especially with the cancels you can get into in the sequel. It's probably a duck. Thought I got hit there. A bit stale for me too. I swear the time to wait for the boss to... Yeah, I've noticed that too. That's why I've come to appreciate their earlier titles way more often. Not just for Souls, but things in general. Like these are more readable, more tightly paced. Just compare the boss patterns from Demon Souls to like Elden Ring. Like I think the new Elden Ring bosses are just way too much. Just way too flashy for their own good. It's just way too out there. I think it is tough for them. I know they got to like try to keep up with the player's skill. So they gotta like keep upping the ante, but I don't know. I like the more cleaner look of the earlier games of like Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. I still think Dark Souls 3 is like, it still has that clarity to it that they should have kept. But yeah, Elden Ring just went way left field. Time game. I know it's made by Omega. I know they're a little more budget title games, but dude, those games are fun. Those games are actually pretty fun. I've only played them on the Vita, but even with the smaller amount of enemy spawns, the game is very fun. I do have the PS4 copy. I've yet to play it, but I do want to cover it. And the thing is too about those games, it's very punishing. It's not like most Musos where it seems very mashy. No, this one, like, movement matters, when you attack matters, where you position matters. Because if you get grabbed and take damage, it's brutal. You're punished very harshly if you mistime any of those, anything. It's a pretty engaging game. Hopefully the third game can keep the edge about it, but yeah, those games are fun. This game likes PS2 game to insult this PS3 game. The cycle, man. The cycle. Yeah, the futuristic look, yeah. I always liked that. The aesthetic of that PS2. Well, in the era. Yeah, we were playing Samurai Aces for a little over an hour. And when each run is like 15 minutes. Yeah, you see Aces a lot. We're probably gonna wrap it up pretty soon here. I just been like throwing random stuff on. I might play more Samurai Aces again to attempt another 1cc, but yeah, we're gonna do this next for a video. I was gonna do Overwatch next, but the process of untangling my mess of notes might take too long because I just did that for a Togi, so just to make it quicker to make a video and easier on myself, I'm gonna do Gunbird, well, Samurai Aces 1 next, and then Overwatch. I think I can still make the anniversary. I think the anniversary is September 16th. I think. But either way though, it's still the same anniversary year of Overwatch, so. Is it so damn boring? Yeah, I get that. But yeah, so try Neo then. Try Neo. If it's the pace of the encounters is the problem, like being too slow, try Neo. Way quicker, things are punishing, game is more lightning fast, you know. There's a lot more going on. Especially with the stance system. Pretty cool. Motorstorm, yeah, I remember seeing gameplay of that. The game looks crazy. If you're a mid-roll sometimes, unless you're very particular about your dodge rolls. I'm gonna have to do that, nodding. I just do this on just for now. I'll try to do that though. I'll try to do that. Because all I have to do is, let's see. I sort of stretch this out and like shrink it down. Let's see. I need to put it over this, I think. Yeah. So we can have like a full Yeah, more like the fuller view of the game. Yeah, I'll do that today then. I'll make an overlay so we can start using it later on. I'll start doing that. Yeah, I just want to do a quick stream today, so I didn't really plan like for the visual part for the shmup, but I'll do that next time. I'll do that. Yeah, Tekken 4, MGS2, Crimson Skies, Nano Breaker, yeah. I just learned about a game called Chain Dive. Let me look up a picture of that. Because one of the songs got recommended to me. And it might also have that same sort of look. I can't tell. But just by the cover, I'm about to put it on right now. So the cover gives me the same feeling as those games. Let me see. Crap, where did I put it? Damn, hold on. I lost the picture. Try this one more time. There we go. This game also gives me the same sort of like that futuristic look we had a lot on the PS2. I've only seen a few minutes of gameplay, but it looks pretty sick. I gotta try that out sometime. Yeah, Zone of Enders, yeah, exactly. Konami in general, right? Like they were doing a pretty good job of like having that look for their games. The Dodger is your workhorse for the whole game. Oh, okay. Okay, so you... Again, maybe Neo might be a good chance. Well, good game to try out. Because you have quick steps as well as a roll. So you can do either one depending on the situation. Yeah. Try Neo. I'm telling you, man, try out Neo. XBLA games like Duke Nukem, Doom, Sega Model 2 release, this is phenomenal. Because I would assume they're more designed with that in mind, right? The those games for the CRT, especially the aspect, like their proportions. I mean, like the aspect ratio. Getting a Wii for accurate 240, definitely check that out. It's like my go-to emulation box. Like, I know there's Raspberry Pi stuff, but the Wii is super cheap. You can still plug it in with like HDMI if you want, with an adapter, but you can still plug it into a CRT with this base plugins. That's what I do. Like, it's for retro gaming, it's pretty damn good, pretty good. And the controllers for the console are very good as well. Like, you can even buy where'd I put it? Because the Wii, you can plug in GameCube controllers, and I think I can put my hand cam back on. Hopefully it's working again. Yeah, with the Wii using GameCube, you can have like weird stuff like this. You know, you can still buy the more modern SNES mini controllers. And you can plug that into the back of the Wii, the remote. You have this controller, more classic stuff, or the Wii Pro controller with the handles and stuff, or the thumbsticks. So it's a pretty like versatile console for classic games. So I highly recommend it if you want to play more stuff like that. More older stuff. Is this bad under every possible metric? Demon Souls is decent because it doesn't concentrate on its own weaknesses. I still think, again, the earlier you go back in the formula, like there was an emphasis on spacing and timing. Nowadays, it's a little too, like we said earlier, like that roll is too reliant as your only way of like defensive, like maneuvers. Like spacing was actually a thing in Demon Souls. Blocking was actually usable in Dark Souls 1. And as time went on, it seems like only roll was viable. But before, you can use all three. Spacing, blocking, and rolling. I think that's why I prefer the older games more than the newer stuff. Yeah, I think that's why I prefer their combat way more than like Elden Ring, for example. Yeah, the music is really good for Chain Dive. It seems to have a very like aerial-based combat. Speaking of, I'm trying to find the cover real quick. So it seems like our flying sort of games is not over anytime soon. Because there's also this game. Hold on. Trying to find it. I downloaded the cover and now I can't find it. Oh, let me do it again then. Bum, bum, bum. So speaking of flying games as well as original Xbox games, every time I download it, it gets lost in the shuffle somewhere. But yeah, I'm trying to put on the cover for Gun Valkyrie on the original Xbox. So there's more like weird flying movement type of games back then. That we still need to find. We'll still check out eventually. I think it's a different file type that I can't use on here probably. Now I'm dedicated to show this picture. It won't let me find it. Bro, where is it? Dude. But yeah, Gun Valkyrie. I gotta play that too at some point. Pretty much what Ninja Gaiden would be if you're a heavy knight instead of a ninja. I can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from. Have you tried Cyvera? Just listen to a song in that game, really? I haven't actually. Let me write that down. Is it like an action game? Is it a shmup? I feel like I've read that name before. Yeah, we'll hang out for like 5 more minutes and I'm gonna call it here so I can eat some lunch. Yeah. I just want to de-rust. We're gonna make the video on this next. It shouldn't take as long. because with Otogi, I think I did me personally, I think I did a decent job of like being focused and like very concise and brief about the whole like info about the game. Like that's what I was talking about in my channel update video. Like I just want to make things way more cleaner and like tightly paced. And yeah, even though it's 10 minutes, I feel like I still touched on the usual beats I would have done, just a lot more, what's the word, focused, you know, no fluff. So yeah, so hopefully you guys got a better idea of what I'm going for, not just for like 3D games, but just in general. So we're gonna do the same thing with this game. And since I can do more, like do more shorter videos, I can actually upload more consistently. Right now I'm trying to do every 2 weeks. Yeah, I think that's pretty doable, especially with this amount of info. I think it's doable. The only type of attack that can hit you from behind while facing forward is a backstab. The backstab happens because you were facing away. And that's more of an issue in like PvP though, right? Like PvE, those little oddities are not gonna be seen. From my experience anyways. Like I don't have to worry about like weird stuff hitting behind me during PvE stuff. What I remember anyways. The shmup art and charming songs are awesome. Yeah, that's the whole like MO for Saikyo. It's more so the earlier stuff. But yeah. I need to look up the artist though. I want to see what else they worked on. There's a cool thing about this game. I really like how they improved the character select screen. Like having the animation for the characters. Unfortunately, I don't think they didn't do that for everybody. Like this guy should have had his like shoulder pads moving up and down. And like maybe his feet like sort of like you can tell there's like pressure underneath his feet. Like a little bit of shaking like left to right. Like the sleeves and the shorts could have been moving here, like the hair as well. Like that's the way Alucard is. So they put in an effort for some characters, but not everybody. I know Ein's in here. Yeah. He doesn't get the treatment either. So I like the extra effort, but not everybody. Just that attention to detail. Most of the bosses and enemies can be dealt with the dodge roll. They have to be. What's up, baby? We'll do one attempt right here, and once we game over, we'll call it there for the stream. No. I remember I brought this up before in the Discord. Because I knew Saikyo and Capcom had like some relationship. Again, because like Cannon Spike. But since they also made a Mahjong game with, you know, crossover characters. And also, Morgan's in this game in the Dreamcast port, I think. So they had the relationship back then. You know, with Alucard being this game, as well as Morgan, it would have been sick to have like a Darkstalkers themed shmup made by Saikyo. I think that could have been done. And I'm not too sure if there's many like horror themed shmups at all. Like, of course, it's Death Smiles, but I'm not too sure if there's more like that in that theme. So if they could have had their own attempt at that style, it might have been one of my favorite games of all time. I gotta be honest. So that's one of my dream games I wish existed. If it was ever gonna happen, it would have been around this time, but yeah, it's not happening anymore. Yeah, the Dreamcast version. She gets her own like panels, own endings with everybody. There's quite a bit of effort there. So I gotta check that out eventually. It's like when we do cover Gunbird 2, like I'm gonna play the PS2 port, the Dreamcast port. Well, actually, I'm not too sure if there's a PS2 port, but I know Gunbird 1 has an infamous, localized version. I forgot the name of it. I think it's like Star Force or something, with a Charlie's Angels sort of cover. But yeah. If only, man. This game's pretty brutal too, by the way. Like, the difficulty jumps crazy high from the first game to this one. I think I put probably 20 hours into this game. I still have trouble with it. And I haven't like found like a common theme with the patterns like I did with the Samurai Aces and Gunbird 1. So I couldn't really like get a good read on this game. But yeah, I'll definitely try to put in more practice with it when we circle back for video, but I'm not sure I'll get a 1cc on normal. Not right now anyways. Because these patterns become more bullet hell, but also being way more quicker. It actually feels more like Loop 2 of like Aces or Gunbird 1, but that's a new baseline. Like, that's what this game feels like. It starts a little too intense for me, like right now anyways. Like, maybe if I could find out or learn about safety strats, like stand on this corner of the screen like to avoid a pattern or something. But yeah, I gotta do a lot more practicing and studying, that's for sure. Like, I've seen the STG weekly videos on like a good handful of the Psycho stuff, and you learn a lot of things in those. If you've never seen that channel before. Yeah, I remember watching like the Gunbird 2 one, but try to steal or learn certain strats, but it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough because usually when they show replays, they're high level stuff. So it's not for survival, it's more like scoring strats. And that's usually a different ball game. Yeah, I can only learn so much because those strats are a little too high level for me. So I kind of have to find a different route, pretty much. More survival based one. No. Game over. That's what I can think of. Got port of PS2. Yeah, multiple Psycho shmups did too. I know there's a PS2 port with Aces and Tengai bundled together. It was a Japan only release, I think, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like, I'm a big fan of those two games specifically. It would have been cool to get those, like a physical copy, but a little too much. And I already have the games on the PS4, so it's not like I need it, but it's more of a collector thing. Ba, ba, ba. The Dreamcast version. Oh, okay. That's what I heard too. The Fireburn Neo, right? That's what FB stands for. Yeah, I heard that's the best way to play the shmups. The aesthetic in gaming are surprisingly lacking as far as yeah. Weirdly enough, right? Like Castlevania's, well, I think it's known, but I'm not too sure if it's like popular, you know. But there's room for it, especially in this genre, right? But we'll see, man. Maybe one day. Virtua Fighter, I never played the game, so I can't really I can't say too much. But the story mode looks pretty cool. Like I saw like other people's like reaction to it, right? And the one thing they all mentioned was the like how they have personality now. They actually have character. You know, they're not just like karate guy anymore. They're actually a story. There's personality. You know, there's stakes. You know, it seems like a more fleshed out world, pretty much. That's what other people's main takeaway. And from what I've seen from the showcase, the showing like the story mode, intro, a bit of gameplay, I gotta agree. But that definitely stood out too. But yeah, let's see if this pulls in more like casual players like myself, like MK9 did, right, with the single player story mode. I'm definitely interested. But yeah, me and buying fighting games day one rarely happens. So if I ever do play this new one, it's gonna be years down the line when it's like $20. But it looks pretty quality, pretty damn high quality. Like they're actually putting a lot of effort to like get hardcore players and new players both what they want. So let's see. And if I remember too from like the earlier image leak, I remember people pointing out like this meter, but either that was taken out from like the reaction from the leak, but I think the gameplay now is more just, yeah, no meters, probably no comeback mechanics, just pure, you know, whiff punishing, highs, lows, insides, like tracking attacks. Yeah, it looks like it's the actual back to basics game people wanted Tekken 8 to do, but yeah. So hopefully it might be the right competitor in the 3D fighting genre. And of course, like DOA coming out pretty soon too, hopefully. Deep story modes for Virtua Fighter games, but never managed to do so. Instead those ideas became Shenmue. Oh, okay. Okay, so that was his outlet for those ideas. Is he working on the new one? If I remember right, the they showed the people working on the story mode and scenario writer. I think it was like from Persona 5, I think. More writers from like Lost Judgment and more of the newer Yakuza stuff. So it seems to have like that dream team going on. Like they have like experience with writing. So yeah, it might be, you know, showing off some cool stuff. combat Senju was those things. Oh, okay. That's what I'm curious too. Like, I remember when Street Fighter 6 was coming out, I was hoping World Tour was actually a 3D beat 'em up. Like, my fingers were crossed, like that's what they were going to do. But that wasn't the case. So, like, the story looks cool, the character designs looks cool, the premise looks cool, right? The Triad gang and trying to escape them, I think. It's more so like, I'm sure the gameplay would be good, but how is the enemy AI though? I think that's where I always get tripped up with like single player fighting game stuff. I've said this before, but they could make a beat 'em up that teaches you the basics. Like one that always like an enemy that always DPs on wake up. An enemy that always meaties you if you mash on wake up. You know, or somebody that always tick throws. You know, who always jumps or who always anti-airs you. Like you could, just like a beat 'em up, they have the same sort of behaviors. And I think a fighting game could do the same, but they just haven't like done that yet. From what I can tell, most times I'm fighting like input reading AI, which sucks. Like Samurai Showdown is like that too, but the final boss I actually do like because they're startup. You know, I can actually use my movement and my spacing to avoid like the fans that get tossed out. But I really like the final boss in Sam Show 2016, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm fighting like input reading AI, which kind of sucks. Like, good enemy AI has to be 90% predictable. So yeah. And then like combining them, right? Like a beat 'em up does. So I think it's possible for a fighting game to make a good single player mode and have engaging AI, enemy AI, but I've yet to find one, sadly. Like, there's actually, like before I sign off, but when I mentioned fighting games in the channel update video, that's what I want to do. I want to play Soul Calibur 4. I think Virtual Fighter 4 has a expansive single player mode. What was it? There was like a handful of like single player fighting games that I've written down somewhere. I think even Mortal Kombat had one. Conquest mode, I think. And then like City of the Wolves as well. So I have that game too. So I got that in preparation again. So I've been like building up my collection for these type of videos for a while. Even Grand Blue does its own first person single player stuff. I think the last two have like RPG elements going on. So I'm not too sure how that works, but yeah, that's what I want to explore. I want to explore the single player aspect of fighting game stuff. So I won't go into like PvP, like balancing stuff, but since I only engage with fighting games with single player content, I think that'll be cool to delve into. So yeah, that's another thing going forward with the channel, with fighting games, like the single player stuff. There's a handful of things out there, but it'll just take time to get to them. 3D and Virtual Fighter will come a long way. Another one, yeah, DOA. I'm not sure what they do for single player other than like not branching stories, but having stories that interlock when you play all of them. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, like that's why I also got DOA 2 Ultimate 3 and 4 on the Series S. So we have all the stuff. We just need to get to it, pretty much. BF4 Evolution. Okay, let me make sure I write that down. I'm not sure if evolution is like a specific version, but just in case. Oh, and Tekken Demon, what's it called? Tekken 5 has it. Devil mode, demon something. Like that's another one too. So there's a handful. There's a handful of stuff out there. So that, yeah. Future prospects, but that's the plan for the channel. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, and I think that'll show in the videos. Because the previous style, I pretty much done everything I wanted to. Yeah, GG2. Yeah, it's like more of a how do you describe it? Like a battle simulator, like with the camps and the managing of them, stuff like that. Single player. Yeah, yeah. Let me write that down just to so I remember. I know it's 360 exclusive. I'm not too sure how expensive it is, but I'll probably just mod my 360 at some point. I should have done that earlier. Well, within this past year, but Devil Within. Okay, let me write that down too. This would be, just make sure I remember. Devil Within. Okay. So yeah, that's our approach to fighting games going forward. Okay, that's what I figured. It's the greatest hits label due to the. Oh yeah, that was like the re-release stuff, right? You couldn't put. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that before. The greatest hits was like the workaround, pretty much. Yeah, I heard about the beat 'em up on the PSP Judgment. I'm not sure if it's a single player thing or more of a pack-in bundle thing. 'Cause I think there's 2 games on there. I think the beat 'em up is its own separate thing, but yeah, I've definitely known about that. A lot of unlockable characters too. A lot of unlockable characters. That's another one. Speaking of PSP and fighting games, and Darkstalkers, the Chaos Tower, I think, on PSP has a exclusive tower mode. That's its exclusive single player content, and I want to check that out too. So yeah, quite a few games. I might have to go back and watch this section and make sure I have all of this written down. I probably do since I remembered it, but yeah, there's quite a few. Like it's a different approach, I think, talking about fighting games, like just the single player stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be pretty fun. Isuka. That sounds familiar too. World Tour mode for the console ports of Street Fighter Alpha 3. For the reason is the difference between PS1, Dreamcast, and Saturn. Really? Okay, let me write that down too, because that one I never heard about. Yeah, that one I never heard. I don't know where I put my sticky notes. I'll just squeeze it in here somewhere. And I might as well play the Game Boy Color port of Alpha 3 and GBA while we're at it. Wow. Alpha 3. The World Tour mode is different between versions. That's pretty cool though. That sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I need to go. I'm pretty hungry. Went on an extra like 40 minutes. But yeah, that's the plan for the channel going forward. Hopefully a video every 2 weeks. I'm not sure if I'll alternate like this consistently. I'm just doing that for now, just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing. So I want to have one of everything. So yeah, that's the plan, and then we'll see if we alternate between like larger games to smaller arcade stuff. So we'll see. I got to figure that out, but I usually go by my mood anyways. But yeah, GG's, and appreciate it as always. See you next time.